Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to learn how to create your own highlighters. Now here are some examples of pigments that you can use for your own highlighters. You can take any from any brand. These ones are all MAC pigments that I have used and some MAC face powders. So depending on the type of shade you would like to make for your highlighter, you may need several different types of pigments that are out there to create this by mixing to get the tone and highlighter that you would like. So next is a container you will need to put your new highlighter in. This one here is an old cream color base pot from MAC. I had cleaned it out. You could use any container that you can find that suits your product. Secondly, you will need some alcohol. So this here is 70% isopropyl alcohol, just anything that has a high alcohol content, and a spatula for mixing it all up. So this is how I started making my pigment. I will show you another way to do it in a minute. So here I am just pouring different tones and different colors into the pot that I have and mixing them up while they are dry. Make sure you're mixing the pigments up really well when they are dry because you want the pigment to be smooth and even once it's pressed into a highlighter. You now want to go in and add your alcohol. Add it very slowly as you do not want this to turn into a really sloppy wet paste. You want to keep it as dry as possible. So just mixing in a small amount at a time, and as you can see here, doing it in the container got quite messy, and as you will see later on, I will show you another way to do it that will keep it a little bit tidier. So just mixing up that wet pigment you have and making all the dry pigment slightly damp so it starts to stick together. As you'll also see, once the pigment is wet, it does turn into a smaller amount of product, so you will need quite a large amount of pigment. Now here, instead of pouring the pigment into the pot, I decided to mix the alcohol with the dry pigment inside the pot that it was already in, so that it creates a paste within that small pot. I found this a lot easier to add into the product and then mix in once it was already wet. So here I've gone and mixed up 3 pigments in their own little pots and made them into a wet paste, then adding in small amounts into the paste that we already have in our pot. You could also do this inside your own pot if you wanted to, and then add it to the container that you have. If your mixture is a little bit dry and hard to mix, you can add another drop or spray of the isopropyl alcohol. Just try to keep it as dry as possible, as this will allow the product to dry out quickly as well as not being super sloppy and hard to work with. So once you've got to this stage, you can smooth it out and test the color and see if you like it. When it is wet, it will show up a little bit more intense, so make sure you like it. Now taking the product and tapping it, this gets out all the air bubbles. Now take something that is a similar size to your product. Here I'm using a Pro Longwear eyeshadow, and you want to take some toilet paper or kitchen towel, place it over your product and press down hard. This is going to absorb the rest of the isopropyl alcohol and also press that pigment really hard into the pan so it does stay. I like to do this say 3 or 4 times to make sure the pigment is really well pressed. And then you can see your final product. It is still damp and will need around 12 hours to fully dry out. Make sure you do leave the lid off for it to dry. So here is the final product that we've created today. So I thought I'd show you guys some previous ones I have made. The larger ones are in mineralized skin finish packaging. This one here is a light silvery pink highlighter. This one here has a more of a gold undertone to it. This highlighter here, I tried to get more of a marbled effect by leaving some of the gold pigment not mixed in. And that one there creates a bronze champagne shade. Now these are two little mini ones I've made in old eyeshadow pots. The first one is a light pinky champagne shade, and the second one is a more of a golden bronze shade. So here is just a close-up of the pigments. You can see in the front too, they are a little bit more glittery. I did use some reflex. And here is what the highlighters look blended out when you would apply them more on your skin like this. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.